All right, hello again. Hungrybox here. So, this is a taboo subject for many reasons. You might not think it is, but dealing with day-to-day fluctuations in happiness and I guess general depression is probably one of the most difficult things a human has to go through. Um, every single person that's either watching this video either has or knows someone, directly knows someone who has suffered through depression or has had thoughts about giving up a lot of things in general. And this is me sort of explaining why it's important and vital that you never give up anything that you do. And the fact is, if you're, present, if you're in the present right now, and you're looking back at mistakes that you made, or you're looking back at things that you could have done better, or really bad things that you've been through, it's basically a way for you to understand that because you lived through it and because you sort of experienced it, that gives you knowledge and insight on an experience that most people never had. Like, everyone's life is their own path, their own journey, as we all know. And if you, even if you didn't get through it in the best way, the fact that you made it through it puts you on a higher level than you were before. I know it's kind of vague and kind of hard to explain, but depression and sadness, for instance, they come for a variety of reasons, and it comes in a variety of ways. It affects everyone differently. You know, like I said, it's taboo because, like, you could be, at a tournament, for instance, or at a gathering, or out somewhere hanging with friends, or doing whatever you do, and sometimes you get the urge to want to talk about these sorts of things, but you don't want to, especially in a group setting, because you don't want to be, I guess, that person, or you don't want to admit certain things. And this could be the amount of topics that this could cover is so wide. Uh, your personal preference on how to live your life. Your sexuality, for instance, your how you act with your family. How you're doing in school, how you're doing in the things that you love. Addictions that you might have. Coping with loss, coping with things that are new in your life and you don't know how to deal with, coping with moving somewhere, coping with a breakup, coping with losing. For me, that's a huge one. It comes in a variety of ways, and what might seem like something minuscule to you is the most difficult, insurmountable wall, and just this horrid looming monster for other people. But you have to understand that it's my personal belief that human beings are naturally meant to persevere. Like, no matter what happens, as long as we simply make the decision not to give up, just say, the sun always comes back up tomorrow. I'll wake up again tomorrow, and we'll see how it goes there. Even if the next day goes even shittier, the fact that you keep saying, take it one more day at a time, one more day, just keep swimming, as, Dory once said, that's what solves the problem. You might not believe it, but that is what solves the problem. Life is naturally random. It's going to throw all sorts of bullshit at you in so many sorts of ways. Alright? But because it's like that, that's an advantage for us. That means that all the stuff that we might have problems with, all the really shitty stuff in our lives, eventually there might be a way out of nowhere that you can overcome it. Whether it's an idea that you get one day, or a new circumstance happens, or you meet someone new, or you take advantage of a certain situation. You might not believe it, but it will happen. Life invariably does that to you, as long as you allow yourself to present, or allow yourself to be open to that. If you decide that it cannot be done, I cannot get past this, there's nothing I can do about it, and you give up, we can't always guarantee instant improvement on things, but if you make a certain choice, you can guarantee that things will never get better, and that's making a choice of giving up. But as long as you leave yourself open to the idea that things can improve, like, a positive mental attitude goes that much further. Things will naturally fall into place. It's like, to build a house of cards, like, it can get taller and taller and taller. But if that base is never there in the first place, if you never say, okay, I'm going to put this base right here, and we'll start from there. We'll start from ground zero. We'll start from millimeters high up the ground. You know, even if you at least put the base there, stuff will eventually accumulate, you know? Things might get taller, things might get better. But if you never allow yourself to, you know, give yourself that platform to elevate yourself off of, it's not going to happen. And I know I'm being vague as I usually am, but it's because everyone deals with this sort of thing differently. But I'm telling you from personal experience of dealing with sadness, it simply does get better if you believe it will. And I'm not trying to be like some kind of, you know, cheesy Hallmark card or whatever, but I know I've seen it so often, not just in myself, but so many people around me in my life. You know, coping with depression, coping with loneliness, it's a dangerous thing, you know? It's dangerous. And if you see a friend who is in that spot, don't just sit there doing nothing. A friend or a family member, reach out to them. You know they're in that spot. You have no idea what one person talking to you can do. It can change your entire outlook on everything, you know? One person simply talking to you, giving you the thoughts, their encouragement, it's like, it's priceless. You can't buy $10 million worth of stuff compared to what one person, one friend simply reaching out does. And people out there need that, you know? Especially in this age of social media, it's tough, you know? You look at Facebook and Twitter, maybe Instagram, you see people, and you see people with accomplishments, and you see, like, man, that person is doing so much better than I am. Why can't I do that? You know, why can't I have, you know, those girls? Why can't I have that money? Why can't I have, you know, that kind of lifestyle? Remember, social media only shows you the highlights of someone's life. And as someone once very eloquently told me, do not compare someone else's highlights to your behind the scenes, as they put it, you know? Everyone's got their stuff. Everyone's got their problems. It's yes, some people are born into, you know, better circumstances, but, you know, the expression "the grass is greener on the other side" really does ring a bell here. Because even if you are in that great circumstance, you find out things that you're sad about anyway. You get accustomed to these sorts of things, and when you get comfortable with how your life is, and when you get, you know, overly complacent, you find things for no apparent reason to be sad about. That's also how we're wired. We're these strange, crazy, just malfunctioning, not patched, you know, devices pretty much. But, you know, one of the natural patches, as I put it, is other people. The key to happiness is communication. Is surrounding yourself one way or another with people, and at least trying to do so. Staying positive goes a very long way. I know it can be insurmountably horrible for a lot of people. I know it can be just, you know, devastating, right? There's certain experiences that even thinking about, even the act of thinking about it, sets you back, you know, 20, 30%, maybe all the way back to all the work you've done just by thinking about it. Or hearing a certain song that reminds you of something, or, you know, memory has that kind of facet where it can bring back a lot of things you don't want to remember. But that's not the point. The point is you need to focus on the fact that you overcame it. And if you're going through it, focus on the fact that you are choosing to overcome it. That you're not just letting yourself wallow and sit and let it consume you until there's nothing left of you. You're pushing through. And that's more than anyone can ask of you. So don't give up. Figure out the best option, because it's always there. You just got to be open to it.